Welcome back to Old Guy REI. In this episode of Work Van Confessions, I thought I would chat for a minute about something that happened the other day that sent me back. Here where we live on the Central Coast in California, there's a lot of agriculture. And I was driving home the other day and there was a field planted with onions. And I got this strong smell of onions. And it took me back, way back. I don't know how old I was. I might have been around 6 or 7. I think my parents were struggling a little bit and they needed to find a way to make some extra money. So they went to one of the local ranches and they were picking onions. So my parents had us out there that day picking onions. I remember the smell so vividly. And I remember there was no shade. There was one big tree out in the middle of the fields, but it was too far to walk to get under the shade tree. My parents, I know they did the best they could, but they struggled pretty much all my life. My mom, I would call her an entrepreneur. She had multiple businesses throughout my childhood and even into my high school years. She had different stores and things like that she bought. She bought a couple of stores from other people and built those businesses up. She was a really good saver. She always had these envelopes all over the house, saved with money for this or that. Sometimes she would forget where she put them. Just like Christmas presents. We might get Christmas presents in March or June or whenever she found them. So that was pretty cool. But she had all these envelopes, and then when she passed away, my sisters and I had to go through her things. And we ended up finding several envelopes with my mom's little notes on them and various amounts of money in each envelope. I think the total ended up being around $13,000 that she just had laying around the house in different spots. My dad, on the other hand, he was a super hard worker, but he couldn't save a penny. So maybe they were a good match. I think she was more of the influence on the relationship, so that was a good thing. Otherwise, we would have struggled even more, I think. My dad was always about living in the moment. He always wanted everybody to have a good time. And he ended up doing things like, taking the family on trips, extended family, going camping, different things, but spending money he didn't really have. And I think, I'm sure it affected how I ended up, turning out to a certain point. I'll probably make a separate video about the fact that I didn't know any better until I was, much, much older about money and things like that, because my parents taught us what they knew. And if we're smarter now with our money, it's no guarantee that our kids are going to pick that up from us. We can wish all we want, but once they're teenagers, they know everything. And it's usually the opposite. They'll do the opposite of whatever we ask them to do or try to show them a way to better themselves. I'm sure that's not how it is for everyone, but I would say the majority of the people I know with kids, that's how it ends up turning out. And we've talked before about how sometimes, say my child or actually anybody's child, they won't really get shocked into reality unless they face some hard times. And these days, kids don't face hard times. I think we spoil them and wish that they didn't have to go through the things that we went through as kids or young adults. But I think they might be better off if we let them face some hardships. Anyway, I got a little bit off topic, but my mom also worked in a straw flour factory when I was very, very young, and that's another smell I'll never forget. The times were tough, but the memories are still good. I don't know how that works. So maybe you could let me know if there's anything like that that takes you way back, and if the memories that you have are good memories or memories that the times were challenging, whatever it might be for you. Thanks for your time. I'll chat with you soon.